All right, what is up, everybody? So, for the second edition, College Football Chatter, and as you guys can see here, I don't look if this isn't an all-star panel. I don't know what one looks like. I don't care what anybody says at this point. Ridiculous. I appreciate all you guys getting on here. But before we get started, of course, we got to go around the room, let everybody introduce themselves, and tell everybody where they can find you. Starting with you, Coach Al, Tez, and down you to Coach Shawn, Jay, and then B Sharp.
All right. All right. Thanks for having me, John. Appreciate it. Evening, everybody. Coach Al, you can see it right there. Al.Sanders.10 at Instagram and Al Sand 79 on X. Yes, where you can find me 24/7, 7 days a week, every day Saturday for me.
Sir.
Yeah. Glad to be on. What's up, fellas?
What's
What's
up,
happening?
Coach
What's
Al?
happening?
All right.
Tez, go ahead.
Yeah, what's happening? Tez. On Twitter, you can find me at Codename Tez. That's my personal page. I'm new to the YouTube content creator space. Got a new channel coming out. It's called It's SE Season. You can find me on YouTube on that and Twitter, and it's SE Season. So ITSSECZN. Check me out.
Coach Shawn.
Coach Shawn, JMHO Sports Talk, just my humble opinion. You can definitely find me at JMHO Sports Talk on Twitter and YouTube. Want to give a big special shout out to Sam Shade, Alabama A&M University new head coach, and AC Carter, my broski. Really happy to have them at my alma mater and ready to talk some Bama football right now.
Jay Smith, I'm the odd man out. You can find me here on YouTube. Just search Unfair Sports as well as Locked on Sooners. Thank y'all for having me.
Yes, sir.
And and lastly, I guess I'm Brenski Sharp of the Sharpshooters Podcast. You can catch me at the Sharpshooters Podcast on YouTube or Twitter/X at B_sharp, or you can catch me outside cutting grass where I just came from.
And Jay, you ain't the odd man out. We got Tez near. Tez is an Auburn fan, by the way. He treading up.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm about to say trust
Woo!
Yeah, I'm behind enemy lines right now.
This man is a spy, okay? He's
Yeah.
a plant.
Praying for you, my brother.
I'm reporting back everything I hear.
Yeah.
Doing recon.
He's
of
doing
course,
recon. Yeah, that's right. Recon.
Make sure
That
to hit
is
the like, share, and
hilarious.
subscribe button below for this channel. Make sure to share this. We already got over 50 people in here. We need to get as many as possible. Make sure to check out everybody's channels, Twitter's, X, whatever you want to call it, and all that good stuff. But let's go ahead and jump into this. Look, Lee Corso retired. Me, I'm almost 40 years old. I grew up basically with Lee Corso doing what he was doing, which was becoming an analyst, right? So I was too young to remember him coaching. I believe he stopped coaching around 85, 86, somewhere around that time frame. But with that being said, I'm just going to say the dude deserves a shout out on every single podcast that talks about college football or sports in general. But with that being said, Coach Al, we're going to start with you and go around and just, I guess, give your shout out to Lee Corso and what you thought about his retirement.
Yeah, big shout out to Coach. One thing about we call him Coach because it's a fraternity. Once we get into coaching, you always coach. You pretty much it's like a big fraternity, and a guy who's done it for that long, you have to give kudos to him for the stamina, okay, to do it at that level for that long and have a relevant voice, really, for that long. The guy is iconic in nature, and he has charisma. He's not a boring personality. You're always going to love hearing Coach give his take. He's not going to always agree with you, which I like about it. Okay,
Right.
Not so fast, my friend.
not so fast, right, Jay?
That's actually pretty good.
That's right. I used to tell people all the time, if you're not pissing one person off a day, you're not doing your job. Okay. Everybody's not going to agree with you. So why try to please everybody? Oh, just piss somebody off and don't care about it. And he was like that. Okay. And so you get a great coaches they're due while they're still alive, while they can still hear. So hats off to Coach for being around for as long as he's been around. Yeah.
Tez.
Yeah, man, I echo pretty much everything Coach Al just said. I don't know if I can think of a much bigger symbol for college football than Corso. I don't know if y'all are like me, which I know y'all are. Y'all college football fans. It's something special. It gives you goosebumps that first Saturday when games day comes on after going through a summer with no football. That first morning, it's something so iconic about it. And he had one of the most iconic moments of that show in the headgear thing. It's just, man, and I also think it's dope what they're doing by having him come on the first game of the next season, because I'm pretty sure he gave them, he's retired now. But that is just a way to honor him and give him his flowers and put him in front of the fans that he loves so much, and we love him. He's gonna be missed. It's one of those voices that you don't think, as a kid, you don't think you'll ever be without. But I love to see him retire, in good health and on his own terms. That's beautiful.
Go, Shawn.
Man, Lee for me exudes college football, just like Coach Al said, just like Ted said. Man, I couldn't have said it better. I mean, when you think about the headgear, just like Ted said, when you think about the mascot head and picking the game of the week or the game of the day or the most important primetime game or whenever it is they're playing, 11, 2, 3, 7, whatever, you think of Lee Corso, man. You think of, I can't imagine college football coming on and you see the crowd going crazy and Reese Davis introducing everybody and not seeing Corso, right? But Lee, I don't remember him coaching either. I just remember him from game day. And I really hate to see him leave, man, because that picking that mascot head, that was just as much part of the show as the show itself, right? So I'm not sure how they're going to replace that little piece, that segment of I guess they'll just pick now. Who knows? Maybe bring in a guest picker every once in a while. But big shout out to Lee Corso, man. That guy's had an outstanding career, and I think he's respected across all college football and pro football, sports in general.
Yeah, for him to make it this long and doing it, it's funny because, like everybody mentioned, not really seeing him. We weren't really raised in the Lee Corso coaching era. We were raised in the Lee Corso personality era. And the fact that he coached for so long, the only thing we gonna really remember him for is him being on television, putting on the heads. But that's so iconic, though. Like like you said, Coach, it's amazing that everything that he's done over the years, he has basically raised the majority of the modern day college football fan. And no matter any feelings about any of the networks, everyone tuned in to game day for a little bit, at least at the moment, to see the picks, just to see what crazy helmet that mascot head he would put on each time. It was just so iconic. He's gonna be missed. I'm glad that he's retiring. It's been a few years. He probably should have. He's been showing his age, but you thoroughly enjoyed just having him and being in it. It's a part of our childhood and life is now gone. It's going to be weird not seeing him. It's going to be weird when Pat McAfee goes out there and start putting on the heads. It's going to be odd because I just smell it in the air. The man's going to have to take over, right? But shout out to Coach Corso. He gave so much to college football, and we would never be able to give anything back or enough back.
Well, man, they said it all for real, man. It's just like all your childhood idols you don't expect to get old. Like I see Will Smith with gray hair right now, and I never expect my idols to get old, man. You so used to growing up, you seeing Brent Musburger retire, you seeing Lee Corso retire, you seeing Al Michaels close to it, and now we seeing Lee Corso. It's you happy to see him getting the flowers that he deserved, but it's actually kind of sad for college football because it's a big part of your Saturday being out of it, and definitely you love him on the Saturday, but also love him on the games when you hear him calling the games on NCAA, but now college football. It's just gonna be missed for real. So happy retirement, Coach.
No doubt, well deserved. I got his Wikipedia right here. Was a GA in 1958, stopped coaching at 85, right? and then
Wow.
obviously the analyst role forever through 2025, right? So coming up, doing his last game, I believe it's August 31st. And look, that's something I don't know if I want to see anybody else putting on headgear.
Right.
It's one of those things. I don't know. It's almost disrespectful, in my opinion. Not really, but maybe.
Maybe Coach Saban. Maybe Coach Saban to put a head on.
So I just looked it up out of curiosity. His record in headgear picks is 287 wins, 144 losses. That's 66% win. That is tough to do. I challenge anybody to pick the game of the week
Vegas.
at the rate. That is pretty impressive.
He outdid Vegas. That's pretty wild.
That's true. That is pretty impressive.
Moving on here, this will be fairly quick. Alabama will be hosting a tight end, Brody Dalton, from Troy. It's supposed to be either this weekend or next week. They didn't give a definitive date here. We all know Alabama's tight end room is, well, maybe not you, Jay or Tez, extremely, extremely injured. It reminds me, I believe it was like, 2021 or whatever, the linebacker room when you had basically Deontay Lawson having to start as a true freshman, like 2 weeks in the season. It was something crazy like that. Definitely feels that way for the tight ends. This year for sure. But I guess we'll start off with you, Brenski, and go around. How important is it to bring in Brody Dalton? Look, the guy was a 2-star. He's not a high-end recruit, right? So, but the thing about it is he has experience and he does exactly what we do in this offense. So, Brenski, give me your take, and we'll go in reverse order this time.
You already said the main thing, experience. Experience matters in this sport. And we know firsthand, which a lot of folks don't understand, once you step foot on that campus, stars don't matter. I don't care you 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star. They're gonna weed you out to see who can play football. If he can step into that role or the role that we need him to play, he's definitely gonna be a perfect fit for us.
6'5" and 250 pounds, by the way. So, Jay, I don't know if you want to give a real quick take.
No, I know the feeling of having a very injured room where you're playing nothing but young babies. I mean, if y'all recall, we had 7 wide receivers go down last season. So where you're playing all your true freshmen and you're trying to figure out how is that supposed to work. Yeah, it's not fun. But being able to, that's the good thing of having the spring portal. And once it's gone, man, you're gonna see another ripple in college football. That is a great way to refill whenever you have those situations where you're dealing with injuries, guys that's going to be on the shelf for an extended period of time. You can help to fix some of that stuff, at that moment. Now, I mean, he's going to take the summer, get an understanding of the playbook, and then boom, probably be ready by the fall. But yeah, it's right now, it's good to take advantage of because once that house settlement comes in, that bad boy going to change.
Oh, Shawn. Nope, you on mute.
Never a live show until somebody's on mute.
Yep,
Man,
there you go. It's official.
It's
official.
Time. And it had been me for like 3 shows, bro. It's come back around to me. I looked at the young man and I seen he was at UAB from Fife, Alabama, to Troy. Seems like the kid is a decent blocker. Play a little high at times, but he seems like a good blocker. Move his feet well. Caught 15 passes in 8 games where he started. It's a big body. I don't really care. At this point in his development, the star don't even matter. He's been in college for 2-3 years. The star don't even matter at this point. Kids played in college games, big body, and we need him. So, you won't hear no complaints from me. Hopefully he'll come and enjoy what he see at the University of Alabama. And, we need bodies at that position. And I'll be happy with practically anybody we get at this point.
Tez, anything you want to say?
Yeah, I guess, I'm not going to pretend like I know a lot about this situation. I will say this, though. Let me ask this real quick. Is this the only spring portal, or the first spring portal that's kind of player that's kind of hit the campus?
Yeah, for Alabama, yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, the bright side of it is if you're in the spring portal for a blocking tight end, you can't be mad at that. That says a lot about your roster because there's some people in the portal for some very, 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 very important pieces. I'm not saying that, I'm not diminishing the value of a blocking tight end. That's not what I'm doing. But I'm just saying you're not looking for a quarterback. You're not looking for a wide receiver one. You're looking for somebody to help out in the run game. Man, that says a lot about what y'all think about y'all roster and what they feel like they have over there.
Coach
Yeah.
Al.
Yeah, Tez, I think you're tracking right there. This is a functional player that will. I think he would feel a need. So the story here that surrounds this Dalton kid is not him. It's the players who haven't gotten the portal this year from Alabama. There's 0 guys in the portal this year. That tells me what the locker room is about right now. Locker room's coming around now. And quite frankly, I think you peel that onion back a little bit deeper. That's grub. That's the mentality of what we're starting to see guys buy. They're starting to get excited. Here's a guy that they can follow. That's called leadership. And so we need an inline guy with some functional strength, with experience, because Robbie Ouse was that dude. This guy here might be an H kind of player that moves. He might be that guy you line up in what we call a king and queen type in the West Coast offense, which is a fullback essentially, who's a blocking back. Robbie Ouse served that function. So if he could play that role, be the Robbie Ouse of this roster, he serves a functional need. Mitchell Pritchett, those guys, they we got some guys that can go out and catch the ball, but last year we could not run the ball. Tight end, an inline tight end, a guy with functional strength is very important to what we want to do this year.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm. So
and even on that, I got to give a shout out to the Bama coaches for being prepared now, because for a lot of schools, most of your portal entries now is everybody getting under that 105 number that they're waiting for when it comes to the house settlement. The fact that y'all don't have nobody in the portal tells me that y'all already got under that 105 number, so you don't have to be that concerned about having to process kids, which you feel bad for having to do and say, while at the same time, hey man, we'll get that bread. We got to find a way to, have some sort of kind of parameters. And I know the NCAA hasn't got the settlement yet, but the SEC came out and said, look, we're going to go ahead July 1, 105 is going to be the number, 20, 85 schollies, 20 walk-ons. We're going to go ahead and make that number now just to be ahead of things. That's good that you all were fully prepared and ready to go right here when the spring portal started and have space to add somebody else.
Courtney Morgan.
True.
Courtney Morgan. In the
There
work.
you go. Yep. There you go.
Having a GM in place early does help.
That dude. Yep.
Yeah. He got his second raise in 2 years, and there's no doubt that man is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So before we move on to the next subject, guys, I'm going to give some shout outs. We haven't had a chance to do that yet. So Jenkins, what's going on, man? Roll Tide. Look, it takes a little bit to get through this stuff. So yeah, retiring. So we got people retiring jerseys and building statues for about anything. That's going to be a subject we're going to be talking about here in a minute, actually, referring to most likely Travis Hunter and Sanders here. Happy Friday, my people. Roll Tide Roll. What's going on, man? Bob, what's going on? And obviously, you guys feel free to give your shout outs as we're going here, because I know you got some of your people in here as well. Anitra, Kennedy, obviously, tough as nails. The big Bama back in here. What's going on, man? Yeah. So many to go through here. Nath Bone, what's going on? And obviously, if you guys definitely want your comments read to the panel, plug it in there for sure. If you definitely want it read, throw in a super chat. Obviously, that's much appreciated. That will for sure get it read. Yo, what's going on, Daniel? So moving on, though, to the next subject, and we'll get to more of these comments here in a minute. And we're talking about the Hunter and Sanders jersey retirement, right? Colorado retiring Travis Hunter, right, and Shedeur Sanders jersey. And this is creating conflict all over the internet right now. Obviously, leave in the comments what you guys think about this. But before I get the panel's opinion on this, let me go ahead and play Deion Sanders' response to the media asking him about this, because I think it's very important to get context, not just from us fans talking about it or the media, but obviously the head coach and the dad, Deion Sanders. So let me play that for you guys real quick.
Retire jerseys can be a sore subject Not really. This is the first time I ever seen it sore. I don't know if you know it, but I'm retired, man. I think every jersey during I played in is retired. So I'm pretty familiar with this. So it's never been sore.
Why do you think that? What was your message like, maybe Buck Nation and Buffalums who are?
I don't have a message. I'm praying for my AD. I love him to life, Rick George. Let's get the elephant out the room. I don't want to talk about this too long. I'm gonna just talk briefly and let it go. We talk about Shedeur. We ain't talking about nobody else. But if his last name wasn't Sanders, we wouldn't have this discussion. Only reason we were having this discussion is his last name is Sanders. Okay, that's it. It's been so many things accomplished at this university expeditiously. It's been unbelievable. And I think we should be appreciative. We should be thankful. We have a room full of wonderful people that covers.
There we go. So I'm not going to give my opinion to the very end. We'll start off with you, Coach Al, and go around that way.
Hey, my last name is Sanders, by the way. and that there's a story with the guy that was on the that you played that's kind of in my orbit, genetically speaking. Okay, all right. So we'll leave it at that. But when you look at Colorado's situation, those two guys, obviously, Travis, just for one, there are only two Heisman winners at Colorado. That's for Shawn Salam and Travis. So it's a natural that Travis's number would be retired. Okay. I don't know Shedeur's numbers. I didn't go and look his numbers up in terms of
it's a lot.
Okay.
It's a lot.
So statistically, when you look at what Shedeur accomplished in 2 years at Colorado, I think he was there with a porous offensive line. He his best ability was availability. The guy just stood in the pocket. He's not a true dual threat guy. He's a passer quarterback who had a porous line, who learned Schumer's system and bought in. I think the biggest gripe that people might have from this is that it's a timing thing. Usually people who get their numbers retired, they have some years behind them before the numbers retired. This was fairly quick. That's the only thing I can see that people got a beef about.
Let me give you his numbers real quick, though. I think this is relevant to what you're saying, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak on it. I'm definitely gonna speak on it.
He's 24 games. This is just Colorado. I'm not even gonna give his whole career. I'm gonna give Colorado 24 games. He threw for 7,364 yards, 64 touchdowns, 13 picks, 71.8% completion.
Wow.
He broke 100 school records, finished 5th in passing yards, attempts, and completions, and 1st in touchdowns, and tops in QB rating. United's award winner, United's Golden Arm Award winner, first team All-American from the College Football Network, Associated Press, second team Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, first team All Big 12 on the Coaches, AP, College Football Network, and somewhere else. And he was also the Pac-12 Newcomer of the Year.
Okay, yeah. So name me a QB in Colorado Buffalo history football that can even come close to that resume. None.
In 2 years.
Zero. In 2 years. I mean, Cordell Stewart, he's
legend.
He's a Steeler guy. Okay, I gotta give him but his skill set was different than Shedeur's.
And he had 3 years.
And he had 3 years. That's right. So to me, people gonna beef. I'm with Prime. Let them beef. Okay, because they turned that program around, and they were probably one of the most watched teams on TV on Big 12 Sunday, on Big 12 Big Saturday. Colorado was on every Saturday.
Thank you.
Who heard about who they put them back on the map and put millions of dollars into that program. Their NIL is just like crazy big. They got money to spare now. They got money to go out and get players. They got money to. So now I will say this. Now I'll get off the stage. There is actually more pressure on Prime to win now because of this. And I think he accepts the challenge because he's that dude. He ain't running away from anybody or any challenge at all. He never has. He never will. His last name is Sanders. I know a little bit about that.
Tez?
Yeah, so it's when we have conversations like this, I always got to be that guy. Man, I 100% disagree with this. Like I just don't. The reason why. Let me tell you this. But all the statistics that you name, right? there's one statistic that you left off, and it's one of the most important statistics in football. What did he win? See, you got to tell the whole story. You gotta include win-loss records. You got to say 13-12. You got to say 1-9 versus ranked opponents. You have to put that in there, because once you include that, then it's questionable. You see what I'm saying? I can tell the story, and I can say this guy does not deserve his jersey retired. And if I leave off the stats, it's no questioning. But if you tell this story and say that he does have it retired, you have to tell the whole story. You have to get the entire resume. So just like we're saying, name another quarterback with those stats. Name another quarterback that's 13-12. That has his jersey retired. That's 1-9 versus ranked opponents. I want you to think about that. And only 2 of those ranked opponents was in the year when he moved to the Big 12. The rest of that was in the pack. Was in the pack. And we know what the record was in the pack. I hate to do this because, like, I don't like to come down on kids like that or to sound like I'm that guy, but I'm just saying, like, if we're going to talk about these kids and talk about the integrity of the game, we have these big issues with the transfer portal and kids not valuing what the culture of football is about. We have to value winning. We have to value what did you win, though? Out of all those stats, the only thing that he's got to show for it is 2 SWAC championship trophies. That's it.
Wait a minute, you're getting close here now, okay?
No,
I'm making light. I'm making light of it. That's all.
Yeah, but you're right. You're right. I don't want to devalue the SWAC, but what I'm saying, like, we have to tell the entire story, right? We have to tell the entire story. We can't just stop at all these accolades and yards that he put up, because that does not win games, obviously, right? It doesn't.
Hey, Tez.
You know, we got to tell that whole story, because
hey Tez.
Go ahead.
Archie Manning.
Okay.
He's in the Hall of Fame, right?
He is.
Okay. He played for the Saints, right?
He did.
They didn't win squat when he was quarterback.
Okay.
To be fair, Archie Manning's not in the Hall of Fame.
He's not? Okay. All right.
So,
all right. But his number's retired.
Here's another thing.
His number is definitely retired.
Okay.
Here's another thing I want to point out too.
I got more. Don't worry.
Here's another thing that I want to point out too. In football, right now there are 100 numbers possible numbers. We're talking about 85 man, 100. What's the number now? 101. We have more kids than we have numbers for. They have the double numbers, but if you start retiring the numbers of record breakers, you're going to be retiring numbers. You're going to run out of numbers. This is a pass-happy offense. They got a new quarterback. It's very likely that whoever's in this system next is going to run the numbers up. Will they beat his? Probably not. But they're going to put up some significant numbers. Do you retire those jerseys then? When he broke the single season yards record, he broke Coy Detmer's record, right? Broke Coy Detmer's record. Coy Detmer went 10-2 that year. You think they thought about retiring his jersey? No, they didn't. And to Dion's point, he's right. We wouldn't be talking about this if his name was Sanders, because he wouldn't have his jersey retired if his name wasn't Sanders. If his name was Smith and he was from Colorado, if he was from one of those Colorado kids, we wouldn't be retiring his jersey right now. And that's evidenced by the past people that have come through there. They've had talent before and they haven't retired that jersey.
Ooh, I like it. I like the debate. Finally, I like it. So, Coach Shawn, let's hear it, because I know you and
bear with me on this. Please bear with me on this.
Right.
Let me explain something to all you about college football. I played this game. College football is way bigger than wins and losses. If this was about wins and losses, half of the people in the damn Hall of Fame wouldn't be there. College football is about one thing, brother, and it's called money. Money, 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 money. If you think it's not about money, you're lying to yourself. Go look and see what conference USC's in right now. If you don't think it's about money, go look and see what conference USC is. The flagship of the West Coast. Well, they're in the Big Ten right now, traveling 2,000 miles to play a damn football game. Let me explain something to you guys, man. I hear you on the wins and losses, and Teagues is right. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna ask everybody that's listening to the sound of my voice to do one thing: get out of Alabama mode, get out of Auburn mode, get out of Oklahoma mode. I need you to get in Colorado mode. What I'm saying to you is this, and I'm gonna make this as short as I possibly can. If this was Vanderbilt and this coach was named Neon Landers, and the dude was and the quarterback was named Troubadour Landers, they would put a statue up for him. Why? Let me tell you why. Before Prime, Colorado averaged 386 viewers a year. And remember what I said, this is about money. Don't be in Alabama mode right now. We know if this was Alabama, sure, this is not worthy of a jersey. This was Auburn, sure, this is not worthy. We're talking about Colorado, a team that hadn't had a winning season and actually a winning culture in damn near a decade. Think about what I'm saying. This is Colorado, a team that averaged about 30,000 fans a year, a team that only played on TV 2, maybe 3 times a year. A team whose rival is Colorado State. It was one of the least watched games in the history of college football. Their record and their popularity may be worse than Vanderbilt because Vanderbilt was in the SEC.
True.
We talking about an unproven. Nobody gave a damn. Nobody's going to their games. Nobody cared nothing about Colorado. Nothing. You can kill at wins and losses because I can give you at least 5 quarterbacks whose wins and loss record sucks, but is regarded as the best to ever do it, right? Don't make me start calling names. I could offend some fans, right? But hear me out. Before Prime, before Shedeur was their quarterback, they averaged 386,000 viewers, which sucked. The Rocky Mountain Showdown, which is their rivalry, was one of the least watched rivalries in the history of college football. Nobody gave a damn. They averaged about 31,000 fans a year, didn't play on TV, and they hadn't had a first-round pick since 2011, which was Nate Solder and Jimmy Smith, right? Think about that. From the COVID year, there was 3-9, 4-8, 1-11. Nobody gave a damn, irrelevant as hell, just to be quite honest. Nobody cared about Colorado, right? Again, get out of Alabama mode. Get out of Oklahoma mode, get out of Auburn mode, stay in Colorado. Imagine this is Vanderbilt. It'll probably make you cheer then, right? Think about what I'm saying. This is Colorado. Stay right here with me. Get out of Alabama expectation. Go over to Colorado, right? This is a team that hadn't done anything. Money gone. Football team sucks. They're talking about Cordell Stewart. Cordell Stewart never threw for over 2,300 yards and 12 touchdowns. Look it up. 3 seasons, right?
Nope.
So you can talk about pass happy. In that case, you telling me AJ McCarron sucks. He got 3 championships. Bryce threw for just about 2 times as many yards he did. Does that make Bryce 3 times better than AJ? Talent-wise, maybe. What about championship-wise? Not even close. Not even close. What's better? Wins, losses, championship, talent. What we arguing about? Again, after Prime, after Shedeur. After Shedeur, they average 4.5 million viewers every Saturday. And just for those that don't know, that's more than Auburn. That's more than Tennessee. That's more than LSU. That's more. And guess what? Guess what? This Rocky Mountain Showdown that nobody cared about averaged 9.3 million viewers. That's more than your little Iron Bowl even averaged, right? So what they're telling you is more people watched Colorado play in that game than they watched Alabama and Auburn. You know what I mean? This is the truth, what I'm giving you. So you can talk about wins and losses all y'all want. This boy got his jersey retired for far more than that. Far more than that, right? Colorado has had a record sellout ever since Sanders has set foot on that campus. That means booties in the seats. That means money. Every jersey sale, every ticket sale, and that's the first time this has happened in program history. In program history, let me say that again. They hadn't had a Heisman Trophy or a quarterback to do anything since Rashawn Salam, running back in 1994, maybe.
Yeah, 94.
You know what I'm saying? Not only did Shedeur,
right?
Yeah, right. So understand 3-9, 4-8, 1-11. First year he comes in, he goes 4-8. They're the 4th most watched team in college football behind Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State. Next season, which is this past year, he flipped it around with 9-3 in regular season, 9-4 overall. Their bowl game against BYU, 8 million people watched that. Contrary to what you think, Shedeur has already won. Shedeur has already won. Colorado hadn't had a first-round pick in 14 years. Well, they about to have 2 of them probably come April. So you want to say wins and losses? I'm with you on that, right? But Shedeur's worth to Colorado is way more than wins and losses. I can assure you the happiest man on the planet is their athletic director. He's happy. He's more happy than Auburn's athletic director. He's more happy than Alabama's athletic director. He's more happy than Tennessee. He definitely more happy than Tennessee's athletic director. You know what I'm saying? So they were the most watched team. They were the most watched team in the Big 12, right? This kid is the single season passing leader in 2 seasons, ever in the history of their school. Let me say that again. Ever in the history of their school. See, you hold wins and losses against who you want to hold them against. You hold that against, because I can give you several quarterbacks whose wins and loss records suck, but y'all talk about how great they are, right? And I'm going to end it with this. Imagine if this was Vanderbilt and some weirdo coach came in and made Vanderbilt 9-14, made Vanderbilt the most watched team. Vanderbilt was more watched than Alabama was. Imagine that. Imagine if Vanderbilt was so popular. Imagine if their rivalry against Tennessee was more watched than the Iron Bowl. You know what you people would do? You would put a statue of that coach up. You would. You would. But see, this is Deion Sanders and his son, so you're not going to do it. You're going to hold everything against them that you possibly can. This kid, and here's one last stat for you. Bryce Young's best year, his Heisman year, he was 4,300 yards, a little over 4,300 yards, 43 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Shedeur was 4,100 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions, right? So if the quarterback is a stat award, if the Heisman is a quarterback stat award, please stop hating on that kid. Please stop hating, because it's a lot of you that's contradicting yourselves. I've had arguments back and forth on Twitter with people that had this same argument the other way on other people, but you want to hold that against Shedeur about his wins and losses. It's Colorado. It's Colorado.
Coach
They're
Shawn,
winning now more than they have in over a decade, and that's all I'm gonna say about it.
Hey, Coach Shawn.
valid.
Coach Shawn.
Yes, sir.
You paid a stat of how many people came to see their games prior to Prime. 31,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So they played in front of at Jackson State more people on average than
Yes,
that.
sir.
That's just going to show you what Colorado's program.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
The
So
gravity
Jackson-
of what they attract.
Jackson State average like 42,000 people a game.
So they can say what they
lead
want
the
about
nation
the wins.
in attendance. I mean, they
They
were
retired his jersey, Coach Al, because he's worth more to them than wins and losses.
It's a
Colorado and
perspective.
Colorado State, not Alabama and Auburn, not Georgia and Florida, not Oklahoma and Texas, was a more watched game than Washington and Oregon, Florida State and LSU, Michigan and Penn State, Alabama and Auburn, LSU and Alabama, Tennessee and Alabama. More people watch College State up to 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, watching Colorado and Colorado State more than your favorite team, more than your favorite team. So all I'm going to end with this. He deserves to have his jersey retired because he's worth more to Colorado than just wins and losses. Colorado is on the map. Colorado is on the map. Shout out to the Sanders.
So I'm going to add to what Coach said, and this was my thought on it too, is you have to take off our rosy glasses of elite football programs.
Yes.
Well, we don't do this. We can't. Too many good players have come through each one of our programs. Every single one of our programs have had way too many elites that there's no way that you will be able to do this. This is our first time seeing Colorado be relevant since probably about 15 years ago when they played for the Pac-12 championship game, and then before that another 15 years and they played in the Big 12 championship. This program has been just teetering up and down nonstop, and most of their roller coaster rides have been at the bottom and upside down. It's been brutal. They did this for 2 reasons. Just as Coach said, one of the bigger reasons is the value that not only Travis brought, but Shedeur. Joe Klatt said this on his show not too long ago, that we give a lot of credit to the success that was there at Colorado to Coach Prime. And he's like, if you really look at the quarterback play is the reason why they were so successful in a lot of those games. Shedeur figured it out in the end. The defense has been questionable. We all talk about how quote unquote terrible the offensive line has been, and somehow Shedeur still threw for 37 touchdowns on only 10 picks. You would have thought he'd throw way more interceptions with how bad a line was. So I get everybody from schools that are in the realm of being a blue blood or right there at the cuffs at it saying, yeah, this is absurd. We would never do that, because you're right. Our programs have been built to where we don't have to do that. Colorado was starting from scratch. They basically had to start. When you go 1-11 and you have a coach that has a losing record get a job at a bigger program after 1 year, that tells you that people are looking at your program like an instant. Mel Tucker got a 8-year, like averaging almost $10 million a year at Michigan State after having a losing record at Colorado. Why? They saw that he was taking a bad program on an upward trajectory. They're like, oh, no, we want that guy. Now he's jobless, but I digress. You ask, what did Shedeur win? Johnny Unitas Award, first team All-American. He was Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. Broke over 100 school records. That, to me, is what you win for something in like this magnitude. But they're doing this for those two reasons. They're doing it because of his value to the program and Coach Prime's value to the program. They are basically thanking Prime and them for coming to this school and making them literally the either the most liked or most hated programs in college football right now. It's wild to think that, right? You would think Bama, y'all Bama fans, y'all should know. Y'all be like, y'all used to people hate watching your games. People watch your games to hate on you. Oklahoma, we had that all the time as well. Auburn, I know y'all deal with that too. You have fans watch the game specifically because they hate you. Colorado's got a combination of hate and love just intersecting and fighting. Look at the comment section. People are battling each other right now in this video. And it's just funny to think about that because to me, I don't think it matters. It doesn't matter to me good if they do it, if it's right or wrong, because it's not my program.
Right.
I understand the gravity of my program, that my program wouldn't do that. We ain't retiring Baker Mayfield. We ain't retire Adrian Peterson, Leroy Selman, Billy Sims. None of those dudes are. Why? Way too many greats have come through our program. So we don't have to do that. We do Ring of Honors, but we can't do jersey retirements because we wouldn't have any numbers. They would literally be gone if you really think about it. So shout out to them for doing something to also do one more thing that we're not truly thinking about. They're just putting more attention on them. How many kids see this and say, if I can walk in here and turn this program around even more, what they going to do for me? Now, we all know it ain't going to happen. I mean, you ain't going to see another Travis Hunter for a while. But they just added so much attention to this program. All they're doing is playing that marketing game. Colorado said, you know what? Let's lean in on this. Let's piss off more people. Let's go ahead and do this part. Thank you, Coach Prime. We're going to do this because we want to thank Shedeur and Travis, piss off even more folks. And guess what everybody's going to do next season? They're going to hate watch the heck out of these games, and just hoping that they would fail. And then when they succeed, they're going to be even more pissed, and they're going to keep watching because they just want to watch them lose. They're just playing the marketing game, dog. That's all they doing. Coach, you're right. This is all about them dollars, man.
It's about the dollars. And there were 4 guys with retired numbers at Colorado prior to these 2 guys. That's 6 total in school history.
Yep. They don't have very many.
Yeah.
I mean, they retired Rashawn Salams after he passed away, unfortunately,
right.
but they did do it eventually.
Right.
This is a bigger revival than they've ever had. They've never had a moment where they felt
had
this revived. Like they're on an upward trajectory. Kids are actually flocking to go play for Prime and all these NFL Hall of Fame coaches they have. Who else is doing that? It's just wild to see it. Now, most of them are inexperienced and they're learning, but it's just crazy to think you've got like 4 NFL Hall of Famers coaching these college kids. And these kids grew up or their parents grew up on these coaches. Like, it's like, I mean, it's just bananas to see that he's trying to do something that no one else has ever tried.
Before you go, Brenski, again, for Colorado, this is right on time. Not for Bama,
think about
not
you.
for Oklahoma, not for Auburn. For Colorado, irrelevant as you can possibly be, they're Vanderbilt. Take off the SEC logo. For Colorado, this is right on time.
I love that people keep adding hypotheticals in the chat
colors.
as if that's ever happened before like that, right? Like give me
Same
more hypotheticals.
Same colors, Coach Shawn. Same colors.
Give me more hypotheticals.
All right, Brenski.
Man, I couldn't wait till it got to me. Of course, I agree. Of course, I agree with Coach Al, Jay, and Coach Shawn. Of course, I disagree with Teagues all the way. we talking about Colorado, man.
Thank you.
Okay.
Colorado. Let me ask you this, Teagues. Without naming Shedeur and look directly in the camera,
Okay.
can you name 5 Colorado greats right now without naming.
No, I'm not even finna try.
Travis.
No.
Exactly. Why are you mad?
Why am I mad?
Why are you mad? Why are you mad?
Big man.
Do I get
That
to
is my
explain?
point right there. If you cannot even do that much, why are you mad?
Do I get to
And
explain?
I'm not just trying to pick on you and other folks. I'm about to call some folks out today. Bevo Bodyguard, you are definitely one of those guys that be having your DVR or having your TV set for those Colorado games. Ready to go to see somebody lose, my brother. So please, let's stop the hate, my guy. You are definitely one of those guys. I ain't even getting to the stats yet. I just want to call out a few people. And King Family React, shout out to you, brother. You are definitely one of those guys too. Now, let's get down to facts. Who is the greatest quarterback in the school's history?
If they say Cordell, I want to know why. Why you say Cordell Stewart?
And guess what? I want to call out another person that you know too, Coach Shawn.
Don't say Joe Clapp.
No. Oh, did Joe Clapp?
Joe Clapp.
Did Joe Clapp say that? Then there will be 2 people I will call out.
No, Clapp didn't say that.
Okay, just want to
No,
make
he
sure.
did. I'm just making it up.
Like I said, Jason Walker, shout out to the fam, said Cordell Stewart. His reason was winning percentage, and he was more athletic.
So that means AJ better than Bryce then, right?
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I guess AJ McCarron is better than Bryce Young. Who in their right mind is picking AJ McCarron?
Hey, we can't. Hold on.
No. Yes, yes, we can.
Go ahead.
Yes, we can. I'm going there with you today. I
just want to put a little caveat out there.
Go ahead. Please say it.
Yeah, we can't say this is Colorado and then use a direct comparison to a big program like Alabama.
Okay.
If we gonna make them the little school, then compare them to other little schools. Don't compare them to another big program where we say it don't count at Alabama.
Any little school you want to go to, I'll go there. Name any little school that
you name them.
Okay, then.
Let's go
Now,
BYU and go make man.
My point. I'm gonna get back to my point because you said what you need to say, sir. Jay pointed out the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. Nobody in the school's history at that position has ever won that award. 10 Heisman Trophy winners won that award. Just want to throw that out there. 10 and a bunch of All-Americans. I just named the 10 Heisman. Nobody in the school's history. He literally has over 100 records. 100 records. Tell me another quarterback. I can name guys that got their jersey retired for last year because they got an All-American. I don't want to, since we're just talking about winning, I'm going to think of another small school like Georgia Tech, an all-time great. What did Calvin Johnson do in college? Oh, he got a Belinda Award, a couple of All-Americans. Do you have a problem with him getting his jersey retired?
I don't know. Is his jersey retired?
More than likely, it's Calvin Johnson.
I mean, I have no idea.
Let's just assume that it is. More than likely, it is. But somebody fact check me on that.
What did he win? Did he win?
Nothing.
Did he have a winning record?
What did he win? You said, what did he win? Technically, Shedeur has a winning record. If we really want to go there,
I can't.
No. It's 13-12 winning record.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. I just want to point that out.
Retired 2010.
Literally the best player, one of the best players. I can promise you right now, out of Colorado's, however long they've been playing football history. Rest in peace to the I forgot. I always mess up his name. Rashad Salam.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Your facts.
Travis Hunter. Can you name 2 other people that are better than him? Maybe you can, but he's the greatest quarterback in the school's history. A kid that came from an HBCU that I remind you that they said was going to fail at this level. Not only did he succeed at this level, he blew it out the water, blew these records out the water. Just tiny school out of Jackson, Mississippi, named Jackson State, named HBCU. Y'all go check it out. Shout out to Coach Al. But we're literally hating on the kid because his last name is Sanders.
That's a fact.
That's really all it comes down to.
If this is at Vanderbilt, Brenski, they be cheering for him.
I'm hating on Colorado.
Coach Shawn, if this was at Iowa, Coach Shawn, if this was at Oregon, Coach Shawn, if this was at UCLA, I don't care where it was. Nobody would have cared. Nobody would have cared. But you want to know why they care so much? Prime Deion Sanders.
Yep.
If we really want to go there, because
we spent
if
40
we
minutes
really want to go there, if we really want to go there, why folks are really mad, how arrogant that man is. They just want to say arrogant. Why they say arrogant? Because he don't bow down to nobody. And I don't want to take it to the other place. But you know where I want to take it. They hate when a man had that type of stance. But he doesn't care about what you think or what you say about him. They just keep doing what they do. You want a man, most of those losses, I guarantee you, if Shedeur came in, and I'm going to end it right here, John, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
If like they came, what was the record when they came in? 1-11, right?
Yeah, 1-11.
A lot of those losses came. We expect them to have a big time winning record the next year, right? What was folks expecting? A lot of those losses because they were playing better teams. I'm sorry, he just brought in a few transfers.
True.
And you expect him to work a gold mine, but what did he do the second year?
They played worse teams.
You are what you're scared. Hey, you are what your record say.
You're right.
So moving on. Well, I'm going to give my quick take before that. Mentioning greats, we got Gerald Smoke Dixon on here talking about 13-12, knock it off. And I love this. Make a strong case for why his number is being retired. You'd have to go back, smoke a little bit.
I just did 100. He has an award that nobody in the history of the school has. That 10 Heisman Trophy winners have won. He has 100 records. 100 records. 100 records. Tell me another quarterback that has 100 records. I would leave it at that.
So I mean, really, if Pavia stays at Vanderbilt long enough, he may have something around that effect. But no, man.
What are we talking about here, man?
Okay, so I'm gonna play both sides because it's so lopsided, and I can't let Tez be by himself.
Yeah, can I just need 3 minutes when you get
okay, 3 minutes, and we gotta go. We gotta move on.
Sorry for holding that up. My bad.
No, you're good.
Oh, I thought I was okay. Yeah, my bad. I was
I'm
waiting
giving
on
you the forecast.
You got the floor, Ted.
I just wanted to say this, man, because
you don't even have to use your code name.
I see what you did there. But yeah, just because I'm the only one on the panel, but like I think that you guys all made great cases for Deion Sanders to get a statue. Right? You can't tell me
Deion ain't playing though.
Yeah,
Deion's not
playing.
playing.
Okay,
Deion's
listen to
not
what I'm
playing.
saying. Listen to what I'm saying. So if you're gonna say that they gave him they retired his jersey because of the revenue they brought in, the butts they put in seats, and all of those things, then okay, I can kind of agree with that.
But their culture. Don't get in Auburn's culture.
But hear me out, Coach.
Culture.
Hear me out, Coach Shawn. If you're essentially saying that they bought a jersey retirement with revenue, I can agree with that.
It's 2025. What else is it supposed to be about?
No, but
Right.
that's what I'm saying. So just let
Don't
that
hit me with the winning losing.
No. You're not hearing what I'm saying. Just let that be the story. Say, hey, they wanted his jersey retirement was the result of them bringing in so much money in revenue.
You don't say
But
that.
that's the case that you're making. That's the case that everybody up here mentioned.
You don't say that
revenue,
publicly though,
butts, and
Ted.
seats.
We're gonna retire his jersey because he made us rich this year. You don't say that.
But that's the
You
reason it
retire his
happened, right?
jersey because the value of this young man has put your program back where it need to be. You mean this much to us. You know
Okay,
what I'm
well,
saying?
give Deion a statue. Hire Bucky on the media team with the with media and marketing, because obviously what they're doing with social media and all that is putting butts in seats, right? You got a guy.
It's more than the social media.
Here's what I'm saying: they would have sold all those tickets if Shedeur would have stayed at Jackson State. If
I don't
Deion
think so.
Sanders. If Deion
I don't
Sanders
think so.
brings Travis Hunter to Colorado with all that hype, with all that social media presence, and all the things that surround that program, because he's
No
great
QB,
at that.
you dead in the water.
They probably
There you
who
go.
says they don't. Who says they don't get a QB? That's what I'm saying. Like
I don't know.
he brought in some portal players before. I'm not saying they Shedeur Sanders, but what I'm saying is the hype behind it is the hype behind it. They still were gonna sell tickets just because it's Deion. I think we discounting the fact of Deion Sanders himself.
I don't think without Shedeur, they would
comes
be
to
the
selling
fourth watch
tickets.
team behind Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia. I don't believe that for 1 second without a QB. I don't care if Deion is there.
Had they won more than 13 games, they would have been the most watched team in the country.
I don't know.
They
I
didn't.
don't know about that. I don't know.
But okay, but wait a minute, Tess. Hold on a sec. Okay, so he took the wins and losses. Let's go there, since a lot of we're kind of there. He took a program that I wouldn't say is in transition. I would say that it was a program. They were not a program, they were a program. Okay. and he made them relevant in 2 years. So I see what you're saying about Prime. You're right. He shows tremendous leadership and high level organization skills. The guy's a marketing genius. Okay. He's built this, but he had to have buy-in and infrastructure to help him do that. But back to Shedeur. Shedeur came in. He had, if you want to talk record, 13-12 with no line. Pat Schumer, this was his first year as the OC. He was assistant play caller last year. So not only did he come in with a new play caller, he had to adjust to a new play caller's tendencies, how he likes to call the game, how he likes to see the game. So he had to be an extension of the coach on the field. To me, I think what Shedeur's mental capacity to play the game is being grossly underestimated. To do that with that team. And I do think a lot of it comes to culture, because everybody talks about football and their program and their culture. So that has to be relevant to what you do for a player. That's why I made the Archie Manning statement. Okay. Archie Manning was the guy at New Orleans. And, I watched Archie Manning when he was at Ole Miss playing. He was a heck of a football player. But he went to the Saints and they were the Aints. They were sorry. But he's probably one of their greatest players of all time, and their records sucked.
In their culture, facts.
In their culture. They appreciated for what he did. He was available with a bad, porous line, a horrible team, a horrible organization, just like Colorado was. So I think and I love your argument, Tess. I do. I really do, because it makes a lot of sense. That's why we're having this very healthy debate. People blowing my phone up saying, great show, man, because this is great. John, thank you, John, for bringing this to light, and all you guys, man. That's why we click. That's why people love this content, because of the chemistry that you see playing out in front of you. And another thing, too, we're there.
Yep.
We are right there. We are right there. We are right there so much. That's why Deion is so hated, because he's in the zone. Okay. Chaos is in the world, and he's not of the world. He talks it all the time. But I won't go there. Y'all know where I'm going.
All right. So I'm going to end this debate with just a couple statements. What was Travis Hunter's record?
12-13.
How many records did he have?
I don't know. That's a good
Why
question.
is nobody arguing Travis Hunter why isn't anybody arguing Travis Hunter not deserving a statue?
That's a great question. I think it's because of that Heisman. The Heisman holds weight.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're gonna discount some things,
if you're gonna use winning percentage,
hey,
well,
don't tell the half truth, tell the full truth.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Well, no, I don't want to go ahead. I won't go there. But hey, if it comes to that, I think the issue is what Coach Al said earlier is the timing of it all. It's a semester after you just
this
got
is
done
2025.
playing.
This is not 1984. I'm sorry. This is everything is different nowadays. Y'all know this, man. We stuck in this 1996 mode. The timing, bro. This is 2025.
I've just never been a records person. I don't agree with it when we talk about LeBron James. I don't agree with it when we talk about any player when we talk about records over what they've actually won. And here it seems like because Prime and Colorado is a favorite team of many, we giving them a pass. And it's not even a pass on the national level. It's a jersey retirement, right? It's Colorado. None of it's even, it's really insignificant, right? But it's just one of those things that if you say, oh, you don't agree with it, you get debate and pushback. If you say you agree with it, you get debate and pushback because this team, to Jay's point, is so polarizing, right? Yeah. So that's kind of why we're here.
All right, go ahead, Brenski.
It's real quick. I promise you. It's some guys in the comments that saying he has 100 records at Colorado. Who is retiring the jersey? Colorado.
Get out of Bama mode. Get out of Bama mode.
College football retirement jersey. It's Colorado. That is the whole point.
Yes.
It's Colorado.
Okay.
Colorado.
Yep.
And John, in 3 seconds, my thing, get out of Bama mode. You're thinking like a Bama mode. You're holding to our standard. Get out of that. We talking about Colorado, bro. Colorado. That's all I
mean, I'm holding it to. Listen, it took Frank Walker at Tuskegee 10 years to get his jersey retired. And Dre Florence, those boys were great. We talking about NFL draft corners with long NFL careers. It took them 10 years. I've seen athletes that I know personally. Like, this is one of the hardest things to do. It's harder than getting like, coaches don't want to give that up for some reason. It's like a holy grail of like, there's so many players struggle to get there.
What year did they play? The guys you're talking about?
It's multiple years. I mean, and not just one sport. I'm talking about like basketball.
2003.
I'm talking about like basketball all the way. I mean, like basketball all the way up from high school to college. Like,
y'all just saying what year? So they played 20-something years ago, right? These guys you're talking about.
No. I mean recently, like some recent.
No, he's talking about when Frank and them played. They played in 2000.
Oh yeah. That was a while ago.
Okay, all right.
That was a while ago. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like that honor, from what I've seen, has been an honor that has been really tough for players to get. There are players with Heisman trophies and statues that don't have their jersey retired because it's just really tough to get. Partly because it's not a lot of numbers to go around, and you just can't do it for everybody.
Yeah, no, I got you. So we'll move on from this. Otherwise, we'll be here for another 30 minutes. I just got one last question based on this. And can anybody name me a Colorado running back, by the way? So,
pass or play?
Yeah.
I'm talking about one that played with Shedeur.
I can name you.
Isaiah Gustav is probably the one I can name you, and he just hit the portal.
I can name you. What's Chiefs' old offensive coordinator?
You get my point. So
yeah, very few people can name players on their roster besides Shedeur and Travis Hunter and basically Shedeur and the wide receiver room is what you can name in Shiloh.
Basically.
All right. So yeah, now to move on. Great debate. Obviously, like Coach Al said, it's great when you get in here and talk about stuff and not go crazy on each other, right? So real quick, because we're trying to keep this under an hour and a half, definitely. Jay, I'm going to let you take it from here because we're talking about Oklahoma transfer portal news real quick. Obviously, you guys got, in my opinion, one of the best players in the portal, the running back, but I'll let you elaborate, in my opinion, and tell us about it.
Oh, yeah, Jay Knott. Yeah, Jay Knott's one of the more dynamic backs. He had 2,100 yards rushing his first 2 years in college. Last year, dealt with an ankle injury, still played on said ankle. But I think he finished with like 300 and something yards. He played in like 10 of their 12 games. But he was hobbled, and everybody was focused on him or whatnot because he was so dynamic. 1,200 yards and I think it was 12 touchdowns his sophomore year. So big pickup, but some massive news just dropped literally while we were talking Colorado. Our 5-star defensive lineman David Stone just hit the portal. Yeah. Literally just looked, and I'm just like, and the sky is falling. Yeah, so once we're done, I'm gonna go record with my guy John and try to figure this out. But yeah, that stings. He was rotating heavily this year. Was going to definitely start the following season, if not start most of this year. But sucks that he is portal bound. Luckily, he ain't going to the SEC. But shoot, sucks to lose a talented player like he was, top 10 player in the country in his class. But anyway, the running back is good. He gives us a game breaker that we've been needing. And then adding him with John Mateer could be one of the more terrifying backfields in college football. Mateer rushed for 800 yards last year. Like I said, he's got 2,500 yards to his career. He's a senior, so he's only got 1 year left. So yeah, we'll see if we'll have a completely different offense and a borderline refreshed defense going into next year.
Hey Jay, you know the saying, right? The portal giveth,
and the portal taketh away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm used to it. That's my quote every video.
Hey,
I got people yelling at me.
Golly, man.
I don't even want to look at my comment section right now. I know I dropped a video before we went live. I already know that bad boy is god awful. I don't even want to look at it.
So what's the prognosis? I mean, you're the Oklahoma guy, man, and they're in the conference now. So we got to start bringing them into our culture, if you will. Give me what's the vibe coming out of the spring with OU?
We finished with a top 10 defense in efficiency last year, and we had one of the worst offenses in Oklahoma history. If we can just get that to be like average, we'd probably win 2 to 3 more games. It was that bad.
Oh, wow.
We lost 3 games because of offense and how bad the offense just couldn't figure it out.
Well, we can't
the Tennessee
say
game.
Your offense was pretty damn good against us.
Touche. But when was that? That was the end of the season, right? That was like one of the close to last games of the season. Our offensive line was healthy. We had 12 different offensive line configuration in 13 games with 5 dudes hurt. We lost 7 wide receivers during the season, most of them at the beginning. So our biggest problem was young offensive line, young wide receivers, and a young quarterback who's now at Auburn. And I've just seen a report come out that there's a very good chance that he won't start the first game of the season because Deuce is cooking. So just what we tried to tell people was that, the man looks and sounds great in practices until you really put the competition on him. And it just seems like he plays football because he's good at it, not because he loves it. And you can't do that as a quarterback.
No.
Well,
I tried. Interesting.
Jackson Arnold decided to have the game of the year against us, and now he's at Auburn. So
yeah, he didn't throw it. He didn't throw the ball. He ran it. That was about it.
Yeah. Mentioned Auburn though. Tez. Any Auburn transfer portal news going on other than I'm expecting Deuce Knight to start by the end of the season?
Man, we got a mass exodus of safeties, if that is making sense. But honestly, it was expected to me because I really believe in the young talent that we got in the safety room. We have talented safeties. We recruited talented safeties and a lot of them. So that's not surprising. But yeah, to Deuce playing, I've said this before. I could see a world, and I always say this about the Auburn Alabama thing because we kind of conjoined at the hip. In last time we spoke was on Sharpshooters, and I said that these two teams are very similar in what they're expecting this year. I could see a world where at the end of the season you see Deuce Knight. I could see a world where Ty Simpson and Jackson Arnold start the season for these teams, and by the Iron Bowl, it's Deuce Knight versus Keelan Russell. I could see a world where that happens.
Yep.
Yeah. It just feels like it feels like it's going to be very difficult for both of these respective teams to keep those 2 quarterbacks off the field. From the reports I'm hearing, it's like they're finding excuses to say something about them or show a video of them. Like they really believe in these guys.
Speak for yourself.
They really believe in these guys for the future of the program. So I can see a world where Deuce Knight is the starter at the end of the year. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but hey.
Hey Tez, I can see that at Auburn, But you know, in Titletown,
Here we go.
okay. No, I'm not throwing shade. I'm not throwing shade. You know
Right.
me. I'm a serious guy here. Okay, I try to be serious. Okay, but I'm saying this: the board has the makings of a dominant program. So look at Arch Manning. He was third string last year. Okay, before the guy transferred out, went to Duke. I forget the big kid name, but he was in the springtime. It was, you know,
Murphy.
it was Murphy. Yeah, Malik. Yeah. So Malik was 2. Yours was 1. Arch was 3. Arch didn't complain. He just kept his head down. So what happens is now the board has an opportunity here with a great defense, 10 starters coming back, and a lot of depth, you know, to play to his defense this year and don't turn the rock over, which is what Ty is doing. He's managing it, not turning the rock over so far, and play the field position and run game and just spread it around and let this guy see how it's done. And so now, say they did have a successful season and he doesn't start, he plays less than 4 games or 4 and keeps his red shirt. Okay. And he buys into that. Okay. And now he's seen what winning looks like. He's seen what preparation looks like. And he's had a year to get his feet on the ground in his offense with Grubbs there to say, hey, this is how we're going to shift the offense again with you. Because he already said you're Michael Penix-esque. So he already got a roadmap mapped out for this guy, man. You know, so maybe you don't want him starting at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely not.
That's my little take on it. You know, I kind of look at things like that. You know, but you know, that's what Lynn said. What you said, Lynn. You know, people sleeping on Ty, man.
And he's a 5-star. Yeah,
people sleeping on Ty, man. Ty has wheels.
So
he's a coach's son. You know, but I think Ty has something. I believe I watched Jackson play. I think Tyler has something that Jackson doesn't have, and it's something you can't measure. It's in the center of your chest. He's not a quitter. Okay, I'm not calling Jackson Arnold a quitter, but Ty has stuck it out with all of that stuff to be the quarterback at Alabama. To be the quarterback at Alabama, man, you're the second most popular guy in the state behind the governor of the state of Alabama. That always has been the case. The most popular guy. Can you imagine the pressure of playing quarterback at Alabama with the expectation? And Ty has stayed there. Kudos to that man. Hats off to you, man.
Let me say this to Teagues and Jay. Jay, are you guys? I read somewhere. I'm not sure if you guys are getting him or you guys were in the running for getting. Did Oklahoma get Marvin Jones Jr.?
Yes, we got Marvin Jones Jr.
Yeah,
bro. Listen.
Yeah,
Oklahoma's
we've had a pretty good portal. Defense and offense.
OU to me is going to be good on defense anyway. But to add that kid and you know edge like that, I thought the kid could play. I thought the system at Florida State didn't really exercise his talents. They didn't really.
That's what I've heard too. Was the system there just wasn't conducive for him to be what we could see him be. And supposedly in practices, he's been just lighting it up. They're like, okay. The rumors at Georgia that he wasn't a hard worker, he's busting his butt. But one thing that I didn't realize when I looked through everything, his dad is the head coach of the arena football team in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is like 2 hours away from Norman. So it kind of made it an inside thing of, hey, you gonna come home, you're gonna come closer to me, so I can you gonna make this happen, make this work.
Yeah, these guys are already going to be good on defense, and to add that kid, man, is just death, right? And Teagues, yeah, exactly, man. I'll tell you this, Teagues, just my humble opinion. I hope I'm wrong about this. I really hope I'm wrong.
Oh, me too. About what I say, I just wanted to clear that up. Me too.
I think Jackson Arnold is a much better thrower of the football than Peyton Thorne. I think I personally think he's a better quarterback than Peyton Thorne. I do.
And just harp on it. Don't ever compare Alabama and Auburn. We're not on the same wavelength. Just because Deuce Knight is doing his thing,
I was waiting for something.
Don't mean Keelan is going to pass Ty. Just saying.
And don't sleep on Austin Mack. Nobody's giving that young man no love, man.
That's very. I was about to say that, Coach.
Man, he can spin it, man. That dude, man, and he's no dummy. He comes to work every day. He puts his hard hat on it. This man don't say he's gonna complain. I love kids like that. They don't complain. They just come to work every day, man.
Coach, I was about to say that because I want everybody to understand the reason why I said I think that both of those quarterbacks may end up starting or playing at the end of the year is because they are quarterbacks that are handpicked by these coaches out of high school. Like Keelan Russell is essentially Caleb DeBoer looking in high school and saying, this guy is who I want running my system. This is the type of quarterback I want, right? This is the first time you're seeing that. And that's why I was about to say, Coach Al, you can't discount Austin Mack because he's a DeBoer guy too. So like Ty isn't. So, one thing I know is this guy he spent last year with a quarterback and getting scrutinized for play calling because he had a quarterback that wasn't him. That wasn't his, that he inherited. So like.
And play calling.
And play calling, you're right. But I mean, if something similar to that happens again, he's gonna go with his guy. And I think the same lands for Hugh Freeze. This is the highest rate quarterback that he's probably ever had. So if something goes awry, his job is on the line. Hugh Freeze's job on the line because year 3 that buyout is 0. Yeah. He's gonna. I want to get this kid in the game at least for the last half of my season if it's gonna cost me my job. So. That's what I'm saying. I can see a world where it's happening. I don't want it to happen. Just to be clear, I do not want to put a true freshman on the field for Auburn University. And I'm sure you guys don't want to do that either. But I'm just saying, like, in today's college football, man, I wouldn't be shocked. Shocked.
I don't give shout outs to Auburn ever, but Hugh Freeze is battling cancer treatment right now and going through this and deciding to hold this stuff off. So never want to see somebody in bad health or anything like that. So hats off to him.
Definitely
doing what he's doing.
True.
Definitely get well.
So, all right. Any last words before we wrap this up? We're at 1 hour and 17 minutes.
Well, one thing you mentioned earlier, John, and I hate to say this, but the whole Nico situation, I think, should we touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, I was going to ask. I mean, I don't know what you guys' timetable looks like. So, if we want to touch on Nico or no for the panel, do a vote.
It's all good for me.
All right,
I'm good.
Cool. Go ahead, Coach.
I'm good. Oh boy, I asked for it, didn't I? Okay, code name Teagues. I don't need that from you, man. Nico is a symptom of what we're seeing in college football right now. Okay. And maybe this whole thing, he may get a moniker as a result of shifting the landscape in college football. Why am I saying that? Because football is a copycat kind of game, system wise, scheme wise, organization planning wise, everything. And these agents, once they get a formulation that works to success for their client, they do that. So, but somebody got to be a sacrificial lamb to show you what not to do. All right. Nico is showing these kids what not to do to get paid.
Right.
Okay. All right. So now it's just like, I told you guys years ago, I did this research paper it was a position paper in grad school for escalating salaries in professional sports. Remember I was saying about that, Coach Shawn? And how I did the research on why, when free agency came in and the collective bargaining agreements and all that stuff came in, how the ownership had to share the profits with the NFLPA and that kind of thing. Well, the players had leverage. Why? Because they were the resource that the owners couldn't do without. They had to have the resource of the players, which is geared towards star power. Okay. The stars get the most money. Let's just face it. In every sport there is, hockey, baseball, the stars get paid. You look at the salary structures on most football teams, quarterbacks, edge rushers, receivers, they take the lion's share of the money. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Nico, what he did was he lost all his leverage. They just didn't play it right.
Yeah.
Right now in this environment, the players had a leverage. Okay, they can go anywhere they want to. They can be transported. There's no constrictions. There's no penalty for nothing. Okay, he played it wrong. He showed everybody what not to do. So I don't want to say Nico going to UCLA or he's not going, but this is what I see. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. But these other agents say, hey, we're not going to do what the Nico plan was. We're not going to do. We're going to do something else. But we're going to extort these colleges, to pay. But they're going to do it. They're going to do it behind the scenes. It's not going to be the way Nico did it. I don't like the way he played his hand. That's the only thing I don't like about what he did. And I just don't like the way he pulled it off from a timing perspective. I have more to say, but I just wanted to put that out there. And one other thing I want to say is too about all these players. They talk about the money. They talk about pay for play, NIL, and all that kind of stuff. But they still have to remain academically eligible. They're college players. Mm-hmm. Everybody seems to be forgetting that. Mm-hmm. You can't even step on the field to get your money if you can't stay in the classroom. So that doesn't even get discussed now. It seems like it's irrelevant. It don't even matter. Okay, it's just crazy, man. Anyway, there's more I have to say. I just let the other guys chime in.
Anybody else want to chime in on this?
I didn't want. Oh, go ahead, Jake.
Real quick on it. I'm gonna get ready to have to jump, but
let me call you.
So this is the last summer that you're getting this type of craziness publicly like this. Remember, that house settlement's about to come down. When that comes down, your structure starts, your rev share starts, all of that. And then teams, those that are smart enough to get general managers, are carving out price points of what they're willing to pay based upon the importance for the role, right? Well, Nico and them saw that and like, this is our last time to get the biggest bag possible, be grandfathered in, and go do what we can do. Just about doubling your NIL this year for them was stupid. They should have played it out this year because Nico did nothing to be worth anywhere near the dollars that he's asking for. But I get why they did it, because this is their last chance. Because once revenue share hits, they're not going to let him make no more than that. And he'll be gone probably within a year or two is going to be the goals for him to be gone after this coming season anyway. Because that'll be 3 years in college. He stick around for 4, your draft stock may drop a little bit, right? And so I don't think his draft stock was going to be there anyway this season. But yeah, they played it very wrong. They overplayed their hand way too much. And he now just learned a very valuable lesson that, everyone deserves the opportunity to make stupid decisions in life. He made a nice little stupid decision.
Man, I'll be quick with it. Man, I've been openly critical of Nico. And I'm not gonna say of Nico, but whoever's making the decisions for Nico. So I put it to you like that because I just don't believe that that kid came up with this plan all by himself.
Facts.
Yeah, somebody he's taking advice for, advising him that kind of dropped the ball. But I do want to say this, man. I'm gonna speak for the entire panel here. I think we all reserve the right to, if more, we don't know what we don't know about the situation, right? So if more information comes out and it comes out that Tennessee had some wrongdoings in this and he was trying to do something and like something was going on with the Tennessee program, then we all reserve the right to change our opinion, right? Because we just don't know what we don't know. So, don't hold me to it if a month later we find out that the whole Tennessee program was corrupt and everybody's trying to get out of there. But to this, yeah, to Jay's point, man, he kind of played this wrong. And I can see the angle of this being the last time he's getting that bag, or opportunity to get a bag. But yeah, he just kind of played this wrong, man. I'm a firm believer that had he just either just entered the portal with no information, just like any other student would do. I'm entering the portal, and use your leverage that way. Because even though he had a mediocre season, he's still the starting quarterback for Tennessee, and they were a playoff team. He still has leverage within that program. No school wants to just go and try to find another quarterback when you've got a 5-star kid out of high school who's having a middle of the SEC year. So he still had leverage, but man, if he had just entered the portal and said nothing, or just behind closed doors negotiated like this, I think that Tennessee would have came close or met his expectations. But just the way he handled it just put a bad taste in everybody's mouth. So yeah, that's all I got to say about it right now.
Anybody else on this?
I wrap mine up by just saying, even learning from the Nico situation, man. I tell any kid out there, I told a story before, I won't tell it again, but you know, it is, be careful, man. If you're a kid and you playing college ball and you're entertaining money or the transfer portal, especially the transfer portal, be careful, man. Have a plan, because I know a kid, I told the story before, kid hopped in the transfer portal, kid played for me in high school, and kid didn't have a plan, and kid didn't have nowhere to go. Like, nobody was beating down the door. Shout out to my former players that's in here, man. Shout out to Man, shout out to Justin, shout out to Travis. You know, two of them kids at UNA right now. Just have a plan, man. Understand that unfortunately you do have to think about it business-like when you're dealing with monetary rewards. Have a plan before you entertain that portal fully. Don't just hop in there, because I think that thing is full of kids, and I would be flabbergasted to believe every one of those kids actually have a home right now. Just know what you're doing. You know, I got another partner, Quentin, who these guys are being agents. Like, some of these dudes never even play high school ball. Like, so please know what you're doing, young men. Please, man, understand. Everything's not everything that look like gold isn't gold, and the grass is not always green on the other side. It's still about development. No matter what school you at, no matter what coaches you play for, if you're not going to develop into the football player that you claim to be, it's all for nothing. I promise you. Develop, man. Whatever school develops you, stay there, tough it out. I promise you it'll pay off in the end.
Brenski, anything you want to touch on this? Yeah, I don't have much to say other than he definitely lost out on a lot of money. I was looking today. I went to business school, and the first thing that hit me when they said UCLA was, do you know how much federal and state taxes are? Do you know how much it is in California?
Talk about
And then I saw an article today said that his hit would be, if he went to UCLA with the same contract under Tennessee. I think he would have made like 2.1 million or 2 million even after the taxes, whereas California it's 987,000. So, and that's if it's the same contract, not, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's not going to be the same contract, most likely, obviously. So his hit is going to be large and substantial, probably more than we think, if he ends up right wherever he ends up, like in California, especially. My man might want to start, but he might want to start looking at Texas and Florida schools and everywhere else that were state income tax or state taxes. Yeah. So
Yeah. So how about going back to the norm that you play ball in college and you bet on your future?
Ooh, yeah, that is right.
Yeah,
that's what the norm has been.
yeah.
I mean,
those
I want players to get paid, but by the same token, man, I think one of the fellas said you got to learn how to compete, man. And at the NFL, he's grown men playing for a job. They feed their families, so you can't transfer in the NFL. You can't go in the portal. Okay.
Last thing I guess I'll say on this is, and this is the opposite side of the coin. Maybe we're going back to the days of, well, we're going to have another bag man because these dudes don't want to pay taxes. Welcome to paying taxes. You know what I mean? So, like, it's like LeBron's huge contracts, and you see he only gets 60% of everything he's supposed to bring in. It's like, that 100 million ain't 100 million. You know what I mean? So, but we're going to see a bag man 2.0, right? Digital version, something like that coming out. So, but no, anyways, anything else you guys want to touch on before we get off here?
Shout out to Lisa Fitzhugh. Shout out to Lisa Rawls, man. Love my partner, man. Lisa know her sports. She know her sports, man. She knows sports better than most of the guys I know. Shout out to Lisa, man.
More than Bebo.
Facts.
I can promise you that.
Shout out to Lisa, man, for real.
Man,
there it is. 38 federal, 12 state. Right there.
Mine.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's
Shout out.
crazy.
Shout out to the chat, man. I can only focus on one thing at a time. I've told Brenski that before. I see how y'all be coming in the chat and still talking on the show. I can't do that. Every now and then I check it, and then I'm looking at it now. And it's like, yeah, it's going down in the chat. Shout out to y'all, man.
Lance Hunter here. Even in the NFL, these contracts are inflated. Most not guaranteed. Exactly.
That's
So
facts.
That's a fact. Yeah.
Wait till you go apartment shopping.
NFL's got the worst contracts, man. You only get your signing bonus. That's the only thing you're guaranteed. Okay, but your annual cut, you could be cut every year.
well,
In the
I'll
NFL.
tell you
You won't see that
one athlete that's not hurting, and we're talking about Otani. So
Ooh,
10 years, $700 million. I don't
Different
care.
games.
Baseball's different.
different game.
Yes, different
Baseball's
games.
different game.
different contracts. NBA is different.
Yeah.
They get all that
They
money.
play
Yeah.
they play
Yeah.
double the games. So
Double
revenue
game.
is-
Facts.
It's the
Facts.
best union in sports. The best union in
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Oh.
true.
All right. Well, anything else? Just
I'm good.
I didn't want to call out Jay because since Jay left, I'm disappointed in Jay because he's he wears some of the best t-shirts and he came in here with a plain black shirt. So y'all, wherever Jay is recording, call him out and tell him I said it. I'm disappointed.
find the.
Right.
He's making a video right now. So, or maybe doing a live stream.
I hope he is, so I can go over there and tell him how disappointed I am.
All right. Well, we'll wrap this up. Let everybody go around the room and let everybody know where they can find you at. So, starting off with you, Coach Al, then Tez, Coach Shawn, and then B Sharp.
Okay, great. Yeah, one thing I'm going to say to everybody that's listening, this is Good Friday. There's some good news to be shared with the world. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we would be remiss to have this audience and not even acknowledge the King of Kings, man. You know, this is a day, that we all should be celebrating everything that we know to be of love and kindness and peace and love and joy and all of those things that make the negative free zone work. Let's stay there. Quit buying into the chaos. Okay. This 6-inch space between your ears. Put something there that's going to help you elevate. Every guy you see on the screen, we elevate each other. We pour into each other. That's why people gravitate toward this show because the energy is real. It's this, this is an atmosphere where, we have chemistry, collaboration, and continuity. Okay. That's life. That's what I want to say. So you can catch me on Instagram. You see it right there, al.sanders.10. And on exit al.sand79. And I want to say to you, Jonathan, to a guy who's nobody, who doesn't have YouTube content, thank you for allowing me to hang out with you on your show. You got a great brand, and for you to ask me to come on, I'm just humbled to be here, man. Thank you, guys.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Tez.
Yeah, Jonathan, man, I'm gonna echo that, man. Thank you so much for allowing me to step up here on the platform. After not knowing me that long, I really appreciate it, for real. So I don't know. Now I've been leaving this quote that I've been saying a bunch on a lot of platforms, and I'm gonna leave it here too. It's tradition is just peer pressure from dead people. Do the things in life you want to do, man. Do the things in life you want to do. But yeah, you can find me. Like I said, my new channel starting May 1st it's SE season on YouTube and Twitter. And my personal Twitter is codename Teagues. You can find me there too.
Coach Shawn.
And I'll third it, man. Thank you, John. We appreciate you, brother. We've been doing some stuff, man. Really enjoy being with you. All my brothers on the panel, man. Enjoy Jay as well, man.
Yep.
Thank you yeah, man. Thank you to everybody in the chat, man. Really, really appreciate you guys. As always, shout out to all our clans. Shout out to Ty. Shout out to Jance. Shout out to Coach Carl. Shout out to Piano Man. Shout out to Justin Smith. Shout out to KB, Clint Lamb. Shout out to Bama Standard. All them boys over there at Bama Standard doing great things. Justin and them boys, John, you guys do great things, man. KB, tap in with all these guys. Man. We appreciate you. Definitely can find me at JMHO Sports Talk. It's just my humble opinion. That's all it is. Really enjoy my brothers. We have a good time and tap in with all these Bama content creators. You can't go wrong with none of them.
Brenski.
Well, of course, y'all can follow me at Sharpshooters Podcast on YouTube. Is right here. If you don't know what the logo look like, just say right here. That's me over there. You see Teagues, Coach Shawn. Shout out everybody. Shout out to the Wu-Tang Clan of Alabama content.
Right.
Man, shout out to everybody. Shout out to my wife. Shout out to my baby, my little girl. Everybody be safe this Easter and all these good things. Appreciate you, John, as always, bringing me up here, especially with us doing this transfer portal thing. So definitely y'all catch that, and man, catch y'all on the next one, man. Y'all be safe out there. And oh yeah, F them trees. If you don't know who I'm referring to, F Auburn and Toomer's Corner.
And shout out to Lynn Sandefeld. Shout out to Lynn, man. Big shout out to Lynn.
Big shout out, Lynn.
Yeah, man. That's our brother.
Shout out to Lynn.
Definitely big. Always doing big things. Always generous, man. Shout out to Lynn. That guy Bama through and through. You can't go wrong, man. Lynn, we love you, boy.
100%.
Lisa Ross here. Sorry. With a $10 donation, I want to read this off. So Roll Tide, great show, worth my time while sitting with my daughter, who had surgery Tuesday. She thinks this is highly entertaining. Obviously, we appreciate y'all tuning in.
Absolutely.
Obviously, it feels good to know that I'm entertaining.
That's it. That's
I
it.
need that towel, Lisa. I need that towel.
Speedy recovery to her, Lisa.
Yeah, absolutely. Speedy
recovery.
recovery. And I appreciate all of you coming on here, because I don't want to do what I want to do without everybody on this panel, without everybody in Bama Standard, Ty. So much support from all you guys, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair doing this. So appreciate everybody getting in here and leaving the comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. All their Twitters, all their YouTube channels will be in the description below after this uploads, so you can catch all their content. Other than that, we will see you guys next Friday at 7:30 p.m. And as always,
roll down tide.